Yo, what the fuck is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Daily Opinion. I'm gonna get this one off first just because it's on some urban news shit. But it seems like Blueface and I don't even know if she's his girlfriend or what, Christian? I don't know, Christian star, Blueface. Blueface is a rapper for those who don't know. Blueface mom came out and said that it's a shame that this girl, Christian, I don't know who she is in a prostitution ring, and that it should be a shame, blah, 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 and all this stuff. So pretty much she's saying her son is prostituting Christian. And the thing is that even the girl came out and was like, this bitch is fucking crazy. And then also Blueface was like, yeah, this bitch is fucking crazy. And that's the thing, like, I don't know why we can't, we should be able to discount people at a certain point. Like, we don't know about this family, and sometimes people go fucking crazy. Sometimes mothers don't care about their kids. Like, literally this week, there was a mom that went in and stabbed her 2-year-old and her 4-year-old. And I think the 4-year-old died and the 2-year-old survived, but or is in critical condition right now. So 4-year-old's dead, 2-year-old critical. Like, people fucking snap for whatever the fuck reason, and it don't make any sense. Oh, shit, we had another snapping thing where, old lady got fucking broken up with. So she was like, I'm just going to get drunk and drive through the city streets at 100 miles an hour. This shit is like, I just don't get it. Like, at a certain point, yeah, I think sometimes we're going to have to start holding some people accountable. Cause this shit's not cool. Just saying like, oh, I was upset. It's like, you should only get a certain amount of upset before it's like, okay, like this shit don't fucking matter. I mean, it's good because I really thought that the woman that, drove her car, for those who don't know, in LA County, some 37-year-old lady got broken up by her boyfriend. I don't know how long they were dating for. And she just fucking lost it and just, drove through LA super fast. They said that there were 16 cars. Like, she pretty much there was a video out there where she goes and slams into a car fast as fuck. And I've never seen this before in a video. If you want to go see it, you can go check it out. I don't know what the young lady's name is, but it was this past weekend, August 8th around. Then we don't know what happened a week ago. So maybe August 1st. So she's going through, there's a 4-way intersection and she barrels through at 100 miles an hour and hits a car. And this shit immediately explodes. I really thought cars had like some built-in device not device, but built-in processes that it makes it so it can't just explode instantly. But both cars turned into a fire pit. You know what I'm saying? She killed 6 people while doing this shit. And it's like, cause someone broke up with you. That's the thing. Like, this one thing I really, 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 really want to preach to people. You cannot love somebody more than you love yourself, because you're going to be put into situations like this. You can't be like, this person's always going to be around. You cannot, just put your all into something. You always got to have a little bit of skepticism and say like, hey, no matter what happens, I'm going to be first. Because then you get into situations like this where the person don't even know what the fuck to do with themselves. They just lose their minds, and then they have to take it out on other people because they don't know what to do. Or there's a type of person that just doesn't know how to function without another person. Like, I really do hope people listen to this and understand that, like, you need to be cool with yourself before you can let other people in, because then you're going to understand, okay, how it's okay to be alone, how it's okay to, not be able to, you need to be able to stand on your own too and lean on yourself before you lean on someone else. Because then if that person were to leave you, you falling over. And that's the thing. Everyone's going to leave in their own time and place. You know what I'm saying? So if you fucking 80 years old, either you're going to die and that other partner's going to go fucking nuts, or they're going to die and you're going to go fucking nuts. You have to figure out how you can move your love into certain areas and aspects. So it's like 100% is just within this person. It's like I have 80% within this person, 10% in my dog, and like 10% in my best friend, or even split them up more evenly than that. So that when something, because people that have pets or whatever, whenever they pass away and then they lose their mind, it's like you need to have something else. And the best thing that you can possibly have, especially if you're a person that like stays alone, is yourself to kind of help you through the hard times and just be able to think back like, okay, I've been through worse than this. I've been alone. This shit, it's tough, but I'm gonna get through it type of shit rather than I'm just gonna drink and go crazy and ruin the rest of my life. Cause again, like, it just don't make any sense. Cause at a certain point, I'd love to know how drunk she was. I doubt they actually gave her a sobriety test and would, take out, but I want to know how drunk she was to be like, cause point oh eight, if y'all have ever played around with breathalyzers, I did in college, played around with breathalyzers just to see who can get like the highest score. Like point oh eight isn't like stupid drunk. Like, I don't know where the point of stupid drunk is. I'd say like 0.15, maybe about double point oh eight. But even then, I'm pretty sure you're still going to be like, okay, I know I shouldn't be doing this. So I'd love to know if she was just straight blacked out drunk. And, I don't know. It's just sad to see that, people are just, there's a lot of people in this world that's really close to failing. Like a lot of people in this world that's really close to just kind of falling off the end of this earth. And it's sad, bro. That shit is sad. But hey, this motherfucker Blueface doing it. But either way, look. So this girl Christian came out. I'm going back to the Blueface story. This girl Christian came out and said, yeah, he wasn't, he wasn't prostituting me, and you also don't know your son. But I'm also like, who gives a fuck? If, like, she's married to a rapper, like, unless it's like a R. Kelly situation where I think that's wrong. I think it was R. Kelly, or was it, I don't know, one of those other freak ass, R&B singers. Unless it's one of those where they're, taking people's money and then they, lock them up in a house or whatever, or in a room with a bunch of other girls, and then they have to have sex with them and they can't go anywhere. They can't buy shit. Then it's like, okay, you just have slaves at that point in time. But like, I don't know. Prostitution has never been like a heavy thing for me. Honestly, it's going to be just like weed. At a certain point, I feel like it's going to be like 50 years from now, we're going to legalize prostitution. They're going to say, fuck it, whatever. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I really think that prostitution would help out the situation that we're having now in the black community, or to just the regular community, where it seems like girls are using guys for their money and then guys want girls for their sex. Like, prostitution is the easiest fix for that, because then there's no fucking around. Nigga can't get mad that, he spent a bunch of money and then the girl's not having sex with him. And then the girl can't get mad because he's like, I refuse to spend money on you if you don't give me like a set price, because what are we doing? Like, for real, what are we doing, man? I mean, and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of guys and girls, it's no one's fault, but we just have a lot of angst towards each other, because it's like, hey, I don't know if you're trying to play me. I don't know if you're trying to play me. If a guy's trying to talk to a girl, he's like, I don't know if she's just going to be a gold digger, put me on 3 to 5 dates and then drop off. I don't get nothing out of it. She was just playing me. Or the girl just like, hey, he just sweet talking me, buying me all this stuff because I'm looking for a relationship. Or I'm just looking for money and whatever, and he refuses to give it to me for whatever reason. I mean, she would just be a prostitute. I don't understand. Like, you would probably get a lot more out of it. I don't know. Because I think a lot of guys would go for that. Like, hey, instead of being like, fuck, am I going to have to pay like $80, drive her around, show her a good time and everything, and then turn around and do it again next week to try to get some cheeks? Or can I just pay $100 right now and get them cheeks so I don't have to go out and no stupid ass shit? Like, it is what it is. And the number two thing, again, I don't know if this girl has any money or whatever, but she is dating a rapper. So, I mean, at the very least, any change that he got her, because I believe they are dating, any change that he got her, or any cars that he got her, it's just like, fuck it. If it's in your name and it's yours, sell that shit, get the fuck out, go back to your family, if it's that deep. And then maybe she's being mind controlled or whatever. And I don't really, because at a certain point, it's like, you're too old to be mind controlled. Like, if you're still doing it, there ain't nothing I can do to help you. It just is what it is at that point. So, I don't really, this is nothing story. I'm gonna just move on from here, because this is really nothing. But yeah, about that preacher that was talking about, he had $40,000 worth of jewels stolen. I'm like, nigga, you better eat that shit. Because number one, because people are saying shit like, oh, preachers didn't, they can get money, they can do all that shit, they can get Gucci and everything, or have Gucci clothes and everything like that, or whatever the fuck the nigga had. I'm not a clothing expert or whatever, but it's just like, bruh, you supposed to be living for a life of God. Like, clearly, if you think, these worldly possessions don't mean anything, you're probably not getting like an expensive ass car. If you really think, like, if you're using it strictly for, its actual use, like you're like, hey, I don't care about the flex, I just need a car to get around, or hey, I don't care about the flex, I just need clothes to wear. You're just gonna get the regular basic shit. You're gonna look like Steve Jobs driving around the Honda Civic. You're not gonna have all this flashy shit, because that's not what God is preaching. And if you really gave a fuck about the Bible, I don't think you would do that. This is clearly you putting value into luxury. And I feel like that's not a part of it. And that's the thing. I personally don't do the whole Bible, because, people will say that's not in the Bible. Number one, everything's in the fucking Bible. If you want to find something that goes towards your thinking, you can find it. You can do a Google lookup, find it, and then the person will look at it and say, well, I can find one too. Then both of y'all find it, and then both of y'all say, oh, well, technically, if you read the passage before, because you can't take it out of context, because the Bible's a big fucking book. Like, the Bible, it seems like it was made to make sure that people didn't know exactly which path to go into. The only thing we know is, like, praise God, don't kill your mom or your parents, and, try to live justly, I guess, or try to live holy, whatever it is. But I don't know. I really do believe this, but I don't think a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are going to say, like, duh, but a lot of people, they out there having, because they out there having affairs, they out there doing wild shit, knowing they shouldn't be doing it. Look, I guarantee you this, and I'm not talking about atheists or nothing like that. I mean, atheists, obviously, they're not going to care about nothing. Agnostic people, they probably don't care about nothing. People of other religions. But look, check it out. If it popped up and then there was like a little, or like everyone just kind of went to sleep for a few seconds, boom, straight to sleep. And then a voice came into their head and was like, I am the real God, or I am the real being in your stories. All your stories are flawed, but I'll tell you what, if you live a just life, but you can't say from the Bible. If you live a just life of not lying to one another and being good to each other, scrap everything else, scrap everything you know about any religion that is on the planet right now. All of y'all have it wrong to some degree, to the majority of your degrees. All you have to do is not lie, live justly, love your brothers and sisters, and you'll go to heaven. And then he gives you a nice picture of heaven. You have your own personal heaven or whatever. You see your family members, you see passed away friends. They're frolicking in the woods, just beautiful, right? And then they show you hell, where some terrible dude is getting his dick chopped off every morning. He just yelling, screaming, they chop off my dick every morning. They put me in boiling water every day. Please don't come here. It's not worth it. Please. And then they shut it off and you're like, oh shit. And then everyone in the world wakes up at the same time. Boom. They just get right up. And they all look at each other like, did you see that? You're like, what? You seen that? Yeah, I seen that shit. What the fuck? This would really show who was about that lifestyle. Who was really about that lifestyle, because I think a lot of people that say that whole shit where, I'm going from the focus of Christianity, because usually, that's the usual people I'm around, I'd say. But like anyone that's like, man, us Christians are flawed, that shit will rack up, or that shit will tighten up real quick. That shit will tighten up real fucking quick. Like all that, no one's perfect type bullshit. They're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I ain't fucking around with nothing. I ain't stealing. Like, I already know, like, if we really thought that this shit was temporary, shit would change in an instant. There would be no fucking around being like, oh shoot, I cheated on my girlfriend. Please, Father, forgive me. Okay, give me 5 Hail Marys and you're good. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm going to hell if I do that. Let me not do it. Because you would really treat this life as temporary. Niggas probably wouldn't even go to work. Their minds would be blown. They would just be like, what's the point? Like, they look around and be like, what is the point of all of this? There is no point to this if I know that, if I have empirical proof, empirical knowledge that after this life I'm going on, who gives a fuck? I'm not going to work. I'm just going to eat my food and just chill. Like, because I've always had the thought process that, if people really believed in the Bible, they would be a lot more like cool with doing dangerous stuff, because they'll be like, yeah, if I die, who cares? I just get to go to heaven. Like, if you're a dad with a wife and 3 children, all of you are God fearing, and you know that you've been God, like, and you're one of the few people that or few families that actually has followed the word of God or whatever, did everything in the Bible, right? And you were 100% certain you were going to heaven. If someone broke into your house, wouldn't you just be like, fuck it? Fuck it. If he kills us, who cares? Like, hey guy, you want to kill us? Who cares? Like, you're just going to you're going to get us to our heaven quicker. We know we're good people. If you slaughter us right now, we just get there even faster. Right? Or would you try to defend your family in order to stay in this world for a little bit less long? Like, you're not losing out on anything. And if anything, you would want to be with your family more. Right? So instead of like you and your wife dying when you're both 80 years old, and then you had to wait another 20 to 30 years before your kids catch up to you, it's just like, let's just get this shit over now, and now I get to see my babies as soon as I go over to heaven, and then we get to see our parents. And like, it's like, who gives a fuck about a bloodline? Who cares about a bloodline at that point? Like, yeah, the kids didn't get to live a full life in a temporary plane. We're here forever now. Like that, after 1,000,000 years of being in heaven, what the fuck does it matter if you are on a whole different planet for 80 years? Do you think it's going to have that big of an impact on you if this is where you're going to be at forever? Why would you give a fuck about this place? Why would you stack up money? Why would you save? Like, if you're driving, why not just drift off to sleep? Like, who gives a fuck? You go head first into traffic, bang, who cares? You're in heaven now, or you broke your leg and you can't walk. Okay, whatever. Like, none of this matters, or if, and that's the thing, because like atheists, I kind of think the same thing too. I'd be like, hey, that's the thing, atheists think there's no God, so they would think that this is the only planet they have, so it would make it so that they would want to be entrenched in this life for what they could be, or for the amount of time that they're here. So they're like, yeah, there's reason for this place because there's nothing else after it. So I might as well do the best I can here. But like, if you believe in God and you're like, this is the temporary, it's like, who cares? Like, take off your CO2 sensors, take off your, your fire sprinklers. Who cares if your house burns down? Like, you can live in a cave. It doesn't matter because this is so temporary. Again, so like, if I'm going to go to Miami for the day, because if we really want to equate it, like, you can't, if heaven is unlimited, that's an unlimited amount of time. So let's say 1,000,000 years again, and then you're here for 80 or 90 years. That is a blip on the radar. That is 3 seconds in Miami. So if it's like, hey, out of my entire 80 years of living, I want to go to Miami for a day. That's about equivalent. Like, a day is 1 in 365 to a year times 80. Whatever 365 times 80 is much less than 1 in 1,000,000. Okay. So that's like a 6-hour trip to, Miami. If you're only in Miami for 6 hours, are you going to get a hotel? Are you going to are you going to really try to find a job over there? Because you're only there for a temporary amount of time. The place that you go back to is the place that you're going to live forever. Why the fuck do you care about Miami? Like, you only care about Miami in the attitude that it's a place that you still need to uphold like the law, so that you don't get like arrested when you go back home, or that so you don't spend a bunch of money. The only things that you would care about in Miami is anything that's going to affect you when you go back home, and home would be heaven. Okay, home, I don't know where the fuck you live, but imagine you flying to Miami. If you live in Miami, then you're flying to New York, God damn it, if you want to be like that. But yeah, it's like this is such a small blip on the radar. Who gives a fuck about it? Hey, I got a new promotion. Fuck you, Jim. I don't give a fuck. You know, I wonder if it says anything about being nice to people. Because I don't know. I don't think damning, because, like, you know, I need to see what the difference between damning people to hell and just saying you're going to hell is, because that's like grandma's, you know, black grandmas around the world, number one thing. You going to hell. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. And like, again, don't take any medicines, bro. Like, you get closer, you get faster to God. Well, I don't want to leave my family. They're going to meet you up there. It doesn't matter. Like, if you have to go somewhere, like you have to go to, I don't know, somewhere up the street, and you leave a minute before your family, like, they're going to make it there too. And that's the thing. If you're in heaven or hell, you still going there. Like, it doesn't matter if they get, like, what is the 20 to 30 year difference of you and your kids to a millennia? And that's what I don't get about this dude. So he's buying jewelry. He's buying the guy that got his jewelry stolen. It's like, he has jewelry. He's buying what's it called? Gucci. It's like, if this doesn't mean anything to you, then why did you get it? Why did you get the highest tier items if this means nothing? You probably wouldn't go to the Gucci store. You probably just go to Walmart and pick out random shit. And I feel like if you gave a fuck about Jesus, you wouldn't hoard all your money and then put it on suits and crazy ass, like, what's it called? Crazy ass cars and everything. You'd probably give it to other churches so that they could survive or whatever. And then, like, if anything, you would just be like a giver. Like, I don't know. I feel like you would try to shoot your money out to any way possible so that, you know, you could spread the word of Christ even better. You know what I mean? But instead, it seems like he's just kind of hoarding the money and then being like a, you know, rapper about it. And that's the thing. People are like, well, why are we mad at other people? It's like, because they don't have nothing to do with God. Like, Chick-fil-A has to do with God, and I would expect them to give to God in some way. If not, then they're fucking lying. Like, they just wanted a day off and they said it's Sunday. Like, I don't know. And it's crazy because then when you talk to religious people, oh, no, you can totally do that shit if you believe in it. It's like, I remember back in the day, the shit was so strict. The shit was so strict to be like a Christian. And now it's just like, you just have to believe Jesus is your Lord and Savior, and that's all. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Makes no sense. But either way, also, I don't know too much about religion and shit. So if this is wrong, then it is what it is. But I don't know. It's just kind of depressing because, like, it really just seems like someone is tricking a lot of people into giving him money. And that's the thing with church. It's kind of like, why is it such a theatrical act? Like, if you're trying to learn about Jesus, like, they don't make school into a theatrical act. They want you to legitimately learn about shit, right? So if you look at all the schools, I'm willing to even say in the world, you know what I mean? In the world, there are not a lot of schools. I don't think there's no schools that teach like that. A fucking band in the background, and then as you're speaking, because you know, just yelling shit, you getting people up, sweating, going hard as fuck. It's funny because, like, whenever I see shit like that, it's more of like, you know, TED Talks. No one's doing that. You know, like, it seems more like entertainment. If you look at it, you kind of look at it and you're like, wow, this looks like a stand-up comedian. This looks like a dude that's walking around and saying jokes and all eyes are on him. I don't think there's any, like, you don't have notes and textbooks out. Like, you have the book you're reading from, but you're not taking any notes on it. You go there, you do the shit, and I would love to do like a quiz on everyone that leaves a church for a year and see how much they actually retain from it. You know, it's funny to me because you look at shit like that and you're just like, bro, this seems like he's finessing y'all, right? Then they look, nah, he's good, guys. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like for churches to not have taxes, they need to give back to the community. It's like, yeah, we're not going to tax you, but this amount needs to go back into the community if you're saying, like, you support Christians or whatever. Like, Or, you're supposed to help out other people, help out the less fortunate. The less fortunate is the public. So you can make parks better. Like, just in case you can make homeless encampments. I don't know if encampment's the right word for it, but it's like, bruh, shit just seems silly as fuck. Like, it just seems like some shit that people did back in the day because they were bored as shit because they didn't have Sunday night football. And then I'd love to see also how much religious like beliefs went down as technology went up. But hey, I've been going on this religion tip for a minute, so we're gonna go to something else. But yeah, that shit's just crazy to me, and I just don't understand people that are like, oh yeah, that shit's real. Are you having an affair with your wife? Yeah. Okay. Are you following all of God's rules? Nah. Okay. But you're not gonna burn in hell? Nah. Why? Because Jesus is my Lord and Savior. It's like, is that all that God wants? I think he wants you to pray every now and again, huh? Like, yeah, maybe. Fuck it. All right, whatever. I'm done. Let's see. Joe Biden has extended the PPP loan investigations from 2 years to 10. Yeah, duh. Duh, they did that shit. They're trying to go. I'm honestly, like, I honestly think that the government right now is just trying to create more people in general, like with this whole baby nonsense shit. Like, they just want to make more people, make so that it's illegal to not make more people, throw people in jail because, private jails, like, they make crazy amounts of money and, it's damn near free labor. You know what I mean? I think they're just going all in on it. They're just like, fuck it. If you fuck up at all, you're going to go to jail. We want more people in the workforce so we can lower, regular wages down, make more in profit, and then just boom as a business. At a certain point, I feel like America is just going to become like a the rich, because since the world is kind of coming together, like as YouTube, as cellular technology and everything has linked us up, the world is going to start, instead of cities and towns or whatever being like the rich, like, because at first at the small section it was a rich part of town, poor part of town, and then they would have cities, and then there'll be like the poor counties and the rich counties of a certain big city or borough or whatever. And then now it's going to get to the point where they're just going to have rich continents and poor continents, to where all the rich people just go to one place, all the businessmen go to one place, and that's where they do all their business. That's where all the all the higher level shit is going to be. And then, at first I was thinking like, why would they do that? Because then rent's going to, because right now people are getting pushed out of Manhattan. $5,000 a month is the median rent in Manhattan as of like 2 months ago. So that's ridiculous. And you have to make like 40 times over that or something. So it's just like, people are going to get moved out. And then other people ask like, why would they do that if they need people in order to give those services? And it's just like, number one, what they're initially going to do is they're just going to up the service per people's pay. They're going to do it, but not to the point of, inflation. So they'll make, 6% up in a year versus inflation still going up 8% or 10% a year. So it's not going to be viable. But as technology is getting better, automation is just going to come into play, Like, everything's going to be automated. What's it called? They have the automated burger flipper and they automated hamburger things. We already are getting trained to like do our own groceries. We're already getting trained to have our to order our shits from off our smartphones or order it from online on the little tablets or whatever that they have in McDonald's, or the tablet they have in Quick Trip and shit like that, right? So at a certain point, it's just going to be all automated. So then they can push everyone out to different countries, because it's crazy where things are going. And the thing is, I don't know if people are even looking at their kids, because they're going to look at it and be like, this is getting wildly difficult, and degrees cost more and more and give you less and less. And it's harder for like a single person to live alone. It's harder for two people without degrees to even live, period, in the United States. The median, the minimum wage isn't moving. They haven't even tried to bring it up. The businesses are the one that's bringing it up, and it's still not even matching what the fuck they were doing back in the day. So at a certain point, something's got to give to where people are just going to start dying off. And I guess that's what that's where their murder rate's going to be, or not murder rate, but their death rate's going to be. It's just going to be the fact that some people ain't going to have enough to feed their kids. That's just all it is. And we already got poverty and shit. No one's really doing anything about it, seems like. Like, it's crazy that we can give $5.3 million or $1 billion to the fucking, I think they gave 5.3 today or yesterday, and then they gave 60 a few weeks ago to the fucking war in Ukraine, right? Who is not a part of NATO, which it's like, that's the whole point of NATO. If you thought you were going to get invaded, then we will come back you up. Why the fuck are we giving them shit? And then we got people over here that's still starving. Like, it seems like it's a super easy, like, 1-2 process. You got money, you give it to people that don't got money and try to help them out. And not just give them money and just say, like, here's some money, there you go. Like, have actual programs that can help out people. Like, if they're in a poor neighborhood and maybe there's, like, a lot of abuse in a household, have places for kids to go, or mothers to go, or even dads to go if they're the ones that are getting abused. Like, it's just crazy to me that we can... As soon as the fucking pandemic hit, they threw out a okay amount of money to everyone in the United States, right? So it's kind of like, where did this shit come from? There's 300 million people. Everyone got about $1,000. Ain't that $1 trillion? Y'all just had $1 trillion sitting around and still asking for more? Like, I don't know. Shit's just crazy. Well, I do know shit is fucking crazy. But here, oh yeah, with this PP loan shit. Yeah, these niggas want their fucking money, bro. Yeah, they want their fucking money. And number two, they want to lock niggas up. And since it's the feds, they're going to go away for a good amount of time because it seems like everyone says you never want to fuck with the IRS. I feel like a lot of people that say that don't understand that shit because they don't make enough money. I don't make enough money to understand that shit. But they're pretty much like, yeah, the IRS has like a 97%, not retaliation rate, incarceration rate. So if you get caught by them, they probably already compiled a pretty good case against you in order for you to go to jail. So yeah, they want to put niggas in jail, or not even niggas, they want to put anyone in jail, make that free money, go into businesses, then the business had to shoot it back to the government. Clearly they would want to do that. And it's weird because we're kind of seeing like, how would you say it? Like nepotism in government, where it's kind of like, hey, this person was this person's nephew, or this person was this person's, son. I mean, literally we had George Bush Sr., then George Bush. I can't imagine that has no, link to each other, or I don't know, or even what's it called? What's that girl's name? Hillary? Well, who knows? Good thing going on over here. Chick-fil-A is now testing out some wings. Some wings that's coming to ATL soon. Right now it's in Nashville. I don't know why Chick-fil-A started in Nashville. Oh, maybe because they got the hot wings. That's an okay place. I don't know. I would have started it over here though. Let's see. This is kind of funny. Man who murdered Ahmed Arbery fears he'll be killed in state prison. Like, yeah, dumb fuck. Well, I don't think he's going to get killed because I've heard like in prison, you have to stay with your own race. So it's just kind of like, you won't get killed. You're just going to be, put with a bunch of white people, and you're going to have to put in work for them so that, they protect you from the black folks. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, it's like, duh, dummy. If you kill someone, you usually go to jail, especially, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. That seems like incredibly fucking stupid. Like, I mean, it has to be like you just hunting people down and saying that he was in a construction zone. All right. Good job. Okay, here's one for the ladies, though. Here's one for the ladies, and let's see who gives a fuck about this. Because I'm not trying to be an Andrew Tate or what's his name, Kevin Samuels or whatever. That shit sounds like a good-ass beer, Kevin Samuels. Here. They say, according to a study of over 3,000 marriages, the more money that you spend on an engagement ring, the more likely you are to get divorced. They don't have any more information from that. I can only assume it's because the woman, if you have to get an expensive ring for her to marry you, she probably wants more material than she does want personality. So she's like, hey, you better invest all this money into me. And at a certain point, it's not going to be enough. Like and that's not a girl thing. I think that's a human thing. Like at a certain point, it's still never enough. because they say the same thing with money. You get money, you become rich. Now money isn't being used as like a way of buying things. It's a means of getting more power, because then people are going to want your money. You can then dole it out to different people in order to get certain, powers in place or whatever. So I feel like the woman's going to want more and more shit. When it started out to be one trip to Dubai, now it's like 3 trips around the world, that you have to take off of work. You're like, I don't have enough fucking time to do that. Like literally my PTO is only 2 weeks. I just started a new company as a VP. And she's like, well, if you only have 2 weeks, well, we need to do a 3-week vacation. You said that every 5 years we would go 1 week extra. And it's like, well, I thought that was at my original job. But look, I'm making more money. Now, what do you want me to do? Well, I want you to get the 3 weeks. Bitch, it doesn't fucking work like that. How about you get a job then instead of sitting at home fucking being a bitch? I'm sorry, that was very one-sided. but yeah, that's the only way I could think of it because like this whole, the wedding ring shit just doesn't make any sense. Like you got a ring that's worth $5,000 and you just do nothing with it. You just got it. You just fucking around with $5,000 on your hand. Nah, is what it is. Yeah, no, the whole wedding ring shit and that's the craziest thing is that we already know that the ring company, I forget who it is, they literally like hold all the they have not a patent, but they have, I don't know what it's called, but they pretty much control all the diamonds in the world. So they only let a few out a year in order to keep prices up. So I mean, I'm not saying diamonds aren't common, but they're not as uncommon as we think they are, but it seems like no one really cares about that. And honestly, why a diamond? Because that's the thing, unless a nigga walking around with a diamond tester, who gives a fuck? And that's the thing, there's also lab-made diamonds that will test as a regular diamond, but people don't want those because they know they're lab-made. It's like, this is retarded. Like, you just spending money to spend money. Like, it's not even cute. This is you being done with money. Yeah, it just makes it's a crazy thing. Okay, here. China need to calm the fuck down. I already said this before. China need to calm the fuck down. Okay, China discovers new virus that has potential to be a new global pandemic. Let's read a little bit here. No, this isn't deja vu. China has discovered a new potentially fatal virus within its borders, which experts say could trigger yet another pandemic. This is a crazy word. Langia heniparvirus. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Referred to Langia has already infected 35 people, according to Taiwan Center. There's a second one in 2 weeks. According to Taiwan Center for Disease Control, in that it's same family as the Hendura virus. I am burping crazy. And Nipah virus. While none of the patients have died or suffered serious illness, it's the virus that hasn't infected human beings prior to this outbreak. I am fucking up on read. Let me get my glasses up. There are a lot of unknowns, being that under the heniparvir umbrella, I don't give a fuck about this. Okay, heniparvir pretty much kills 40 to 75% of its people that, are its hosts. Yeah, they just die. A report, New England Journal says the infected patients had a history of being in contact with animals. However, it's possible the virus has already been transmitted from human to human. COVID, monkeypox, and yanya. Oh my. Man, y'all need to stop fucking with these animals, bro. Just get a dog and get a cat and fucking chill, bro. All these other animals, man, like you fucking up the world. I don't get it, man. I mean, maybe because in China, I don't know, with the wet markets and everything, it's like we don't have nothing else to eat. We got to do like this. It's like, okay, granted. But if you out there just fucking around with animals, fucking monkeys and everything, I don't know, bro. We need to really lock it up with these animals. Oh, I seen an albino squirrel at my house. That shit was kind of fire. All right. We've obtained court documents that show Facebook gave police. Oh, yeah, this is kind of wild. We've obtained court documents that show Facebook gave police a Nebraska teenager's private chats about her abortion, then used those chats to seize her phone and computer. So now Facebook, Meta, is giving out information to police in order to get people that's getting an abortion. Like, so this, bro, this shit is really fucking scary because it seems like the government can just outlaw whatever, despite what like the common person says, and then just send them to the gulag. It's like some Russian shit. If we don't like what the fuck you're saying, just send them niggas to the gulag. Like, I mean, I guess you can still say abortion, but I mean, if you're going over Facebook private messages, because I think your phone company has to give the police your info and, messages and all that. So I don't know. I guess that's no different if they assume that you're breaking the law, but that's the thing. You would have to, unless she said I'm getting an abortion over Facebook. Well, yeah. So that means no, they treating this shit like a serious matter, like you fucking trafficking drugs. Why is it that the government is always overdoing it with shit? Like, I'm like, don't we have murderers out here that we need to find? And y'all motherfuckers are concerned about some abortion? Y'all concerned about some people getting some weed in here? Like, please, man. Like, I feel like we need to talk to people about it. Either way, well, this was a very fun time that I had with y'all. It was a fun time. A lot of ranting and a lot of raving. I don't know if I did a lot of raving, but I did a little bit of ranting. But that's pretty much this podcast, though. And that's pretty much my time for today. All right, y'all. Please, 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 please be fucking safe out there. Be fucking smart. Like, man. And hopefully, like, if you talk to someone that's dumb as fuck, you can change their mind on some shit, because we need some more people that can think critically or something, bro, because shit's about to get real goofy real quick. And I don't want to see nobody get hurt. But yeah, man, other than that, love you. Peace out. Take it easy.